but down 51-33. I mean, you had all the reasons to just pack it in and go back home. What did tonight prove about the fight of your team?
Yeah, I just think we tried real hard. Oklahoma is so gifted offensively, and I think Coach Mosier is an offensive savant in regards to how he uses that talent. But there's always a lot of lipstick prior to the shot attempt that causes a lot of confusion, a lot of really gifted decision makers with the ball. But I think the things that they're doing is really difficult to guard. And in many respects, they beat us from start to finish. And I don't know that you can give up 42 points from three with the three-point field goal percentage being higher than the overall percentage and it not be 51-33. Actually, I would say that should be the line, 51-33, because it was everything that we were trying, they were taking advantage of and having near-perfect success. But I do think that the character of our guys and the relationships that they have with one another, I thought that they just kind of hung around. I don't think that they ever dropped their head, so to say. I thought they were very accountable to one another and to what we're trying to do, and we're very fortunate to win.
Coach, without Wade tonight, how impressed were you with how Zurich and some of the other guys stepped up?
Yeah, you could argue that Ford may be one of the better players ever to have played at Texas A&M, not just on this year's team. Statistically speaking, you could say that he may be the best player. And there's been a lot of really good players. And the game before Christmas was the first time that Ford has ever missed a game, including the two practices prior to. The same thing happened, I guess it would be Monday, Tuesday, entering today. He carries a lot for our team. He's incredibly gifted, but his IQ level as a player is probably at the same level or better than his talent. And so not only did we miss his talent, we also missed his IQ. And I think as best we could, I thought our staff did a really good job of dispersing that burden and not putting it on one guy, because I thought Zoo was tremendous. I thought Zoo was really good on Saturday. But we can't just give all of that to one player. And I thought collectively our group did a really good job in their communication and in their understanding of what we were trying to accomplish while getting beat up pretty good for a long period of the game.
I know Zoo was big for you guys in the second half, but as a coach, what's it like when an opposing player goes on a heater like Goodine did for Oklahoma tonight?
You know, similar to what I said in the first question, I think Coach is tremendous, and I've known him for a long time. And I think that if you looked at all of the actions they've run over the last 5 games, regardless of opponent, you try to prepare for all of that relative to how we play and somewhat predict as best you can, okay, this is probably how they're going to try to attack us. And not only did they attack us, but in many respects embarrassed us. Some of the shots that I thought that two made were off the chart, but I didn't think it was necessarily bad defense. I don't think our weak side coverage was caught off guard. We were in space. I think a lot of it, to be honest with you, was the ball handler making the decision on what caused the rotation to get it to 2. We did a really poor job guarding the ball. And if you don't guard the ball, it is going to lead to rotation. And now you are going to – how many balls did they shoot? Yeah, so approaching 60% of their shots were from 3, right? Okay, well, if they shoot 60% of their shots from three and they make 60% of their shots from three, that's a bad formula. But we weren't guarding the ball very well at all, particularly in the first half.
Coach, you doubled Jeremiah Fears for them quite a bit. How big your success was shutting him down?
I was just telling our radio people, this is only my 6th year in the conference, and we played less games than any Power 5 team in the country the COVID season. And there's been some really talented players, but he has the highest usage rate in the SEC. And there's been a lot of one-and-done guys that we've competed against, none of which, from a perimeter standpoint, have ever had the usage rate he has. And so just transparently, I know they're a mirror opponent, I don't think you can let zero make every decision. Because if you do, they're going to go 13-1. That's my opinion. And so we watched and studied the decisions that he was making relative to the things that coach was putting him in a position to have success with. And we just felt like we were going to at least have to try something different because numerically speaking, other than Saturday, and I think Saturday was their 7th high major game, and they're 6-1, and Zero's usage rate was the highest entering SEC play of any freshman since I've been in the league. And so I think our initial thoughts and adjustments were appropriate, but because of what was happening with two, we had to figure something out. Otherwise, we was going to get beat in a different way. So we just tried to mix it up maybe a little bit more in the second half.
Talk about the conference grind. We all know it. What does it mean? Just like feel like you stole one tonight. How big is that?
Yeah, you know, it's the first full week of conference play, and I think if you were a fan, this would be fun. And I think if you had a platform such as you guys, or you were a media personality, like I'm assuming some of you guys are, like it's good fodder, it's good content. It's like, what about this and what about that and this coach and that player and what's next and what about what happened last week? Like, I think that's what has created the exposure that this league has. And without being condescending, I literally try to live in the most narrow lane you can possibly imagine. Rarely look at my phone. I do not watch any games. I'm not talented enough to give away emotion and energy to something that doesn't impact us. Because I think when you're doing this for 3 hours tonight, shoot around this morning for an hour, film this morning before shoot around, chapel before film, like travel here, all of the things that you're doing. I think when you give away time, energy, emotion over what is about to be 1 and 2 possession games for 10 consecutive weeks, I don't think you can lead from that. And I think that when you're trying as best as you can to be responsible in leading, on average 20-year-olds who are completely bombarded, I just want to try to be the best example I can be. We're really thankful. We're glad that the bus ride, that the pizza will taste a little better. We're glad that it's only an hour home, but we're going to get home at whatever time. And literally the preparation for Saturday's game against another top 20, this one top 5 team, starts as soon as I take a shower. And that's, I understand that's what comes with the job, so I don't want a portion of what I'm saying to come across as if I'm complaining, but thankful, okay, purge, cleanse, okay, we got to figure out if we have a chance in another 1 or 2 possession game, if we can get it to that on Saturday.